Part 80. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 791. Chapter 791 The Girl with Amnesia. The amnesiac woman named Xiao Mo has become a new person under Situ Yan's careful care. When she was brought back from the hospital, her skin was dull and colorless. After half a month of continuous care, her skin has begun to glow with moisture and luster. Although the skin color cannot be changed immediately, it can already be seen that Xiaomo has a beautiful foundation. Situ Yan believes that given time, Xiaomo will become a little beauty. At this moment, Situ Yan went in after drinking wine and was more enthusiastic than usual. He saw Xiaomo arranging flowers and walked over to admire them for a while, but drunk people tend to be confused when admiring them. Looking at the colorful flowers piled up on the computer, Situ Yan could only praise her. Xiao Mo, you learn quickly, you are so smart. When I first saw Xiao Mo's appearance, I felt that her previous life was not very good. But gradually he discovered that some of Xiao Mo's daily actions seemed to be specially trained, and he behaved elegantly and politely. At that time, Situ Yan had many speculations in his mind. For example, was she a noble lady before? Or maybe he is a very good person but accidentally loses his memory. But there is no way to confirm it. Later, when he saw that Xiaomo was bored with nothing to do at home, he thought of inviting a flower arranger to come back to teach her and learn something to cultivate her sentiments. Situ Yan also made a random decision, but he didn't expect Xiaomo to learn so quickly. Situ Yan also said, "The flower arrangement teacher I invited praised you today, saying that you are smart and studious, and that you are a rare and good apprentice." Xiao Mo blushed slightly after hearing the compliment. "I have to thank you, Brother Yan, for finding a professional flower arrangement teacher for me to teach you carefully." Because Xiao Mo doesn't remember anything, Situ Yan almost got a girlfriend after bringing her to this villa. I say daughter because Situ Yan really takes good care of Xiao Mo, and can even be regarded as doting on her. I say she is a girlfriend, because sometimes the atmosphere when they are alone together is very ambiguous, but they do not tell the truth. At this time, Situ Yan looked at her with confused drunk eyes, and when he saw her shy expression, he automatically beautified her. Seeing her smiling so sweetly, Situ Yan was a little fascinated. "Xiao Mo, you are so beautiful." Situ Yan's heartfelt compliment made Xiaomo's heart beat faster. "Brother Yan, have you drank a lot? Do you want to take a bath first? I'll make you a hangover soup." Xiao Mo pushed Situ Yan towards the bathroom a little, and Situ Yan followed her movements, pushing and moving, with a smile on his face. Xiao Mo saw that he seemed to be cheating, so she mustered up the courage to take his hand and lead him towards the bathroom. Xiao Mo thoughtfully poured warm water for him. "Brother Yan, the water has been put. I'll go out and make you a hangover soup first." Just when Xiao Mo was about to step out of the bathroom door, Situ Yan suddenly put his arms around her slender waist and pulled her to his side. Just when Situ Yan was coaxed into being elated, Xiao Mo turned her back to him and quietly scratched her arm with the blade of an eyebrow trimmer. He frowned, leaving traces of blood seeping into the bathtub, and the clear water gradually changed color. Xiao Mo hugged Situ Yan tightly and whispered in his ear, "Brother Yan, can we go out?" Situ Yan, who was bewildered by the beauty, still had no clear consciousness. He smiled and said hello in Xiao Mo's ear, and immediately picked her up. Chinese Valentine's Day Welfare Group. In order to thank Kaibao for their support and companionship, Kaibao has established an exclusive welfare group. Kaibao is welcome to join the group to grab red envelopes, receive benefits, and play together. There will be welfare red envelopes and irregular activities in the group regularly every month. Kaibao, who has a fan value of 2,000 disciples or above, should first join the book club group 1450160019 and find the manager 3.5 years old, and then invite him to the welfare group. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 792. Chapter 792 Yezikin fights for family property. You are really beautiful. The atmosphere in the room gradually heated up. When Xiao Mo and Sidu Yan woke up, it was already the next morning. When Sidu Yan woke up from his sleep, he felt that his head was still a little dizzy. Now he opened his eyes and saw clearly, but he saw a small and slightly red face. Seeing Xiao Mo sleeping peacefully next to him, Sidu Yan felt a sense of protectiveness in his heart. Xiao Mo was the only woman in his arms who was so dependent, so Sidu Yan loved Xiao Mo a little more. He got up, washed and got dressed. I thought I was feeling hungry, so I went to the dining table to fill my stomach with some breakfast. Back in the room, when he saw Xiao Mo stepping on the floor, Sidu Yan walked over and picked up Xiao Mo without saying a word. "Brother Yan, what are you doing?" Xiao Mo struggled a little in his arms, blushing at the same time. Xiao Mo's reaction made Sidu Yan very satisfied. Sidu Yan looked down at the person in his arms, filled with joy. "Xiao Mo, I'm sorry, I was drunk last night and couldn't control myself." "Ouch, Brother Yan, please stop talking." Xiao Mo deliberately covered her face with her hands, so that no one could see her expression covered by her hands. As for what she was thinking, only she knew it. "Don't be shy, you already belong to me." Sidu Yan said what he thought was very romantic. Xiao Mo still looked away, looking just shy, and no one thought much about anything else. Such a warm scene was suddenly interrupted by the sound of a cell phone ringtone. Sidu Yan frowned slightly dissatisfied and took the phone. Seeing that the call was from his brother, he calmed down a little and answered the call seriously. "I listened to your advice yesterday and returned home, but Ruan cried to me again about the child. I felt sorry for her losing her child, but it was also my child. There's also the matter of family separation. Is there a place where I can hide for 2 days recently?" Mo Feng threw a lot of words at him and looked at his phone at this time. It seemed that he was really upset. Sidu Feng told him a place to go, and Mo Feng thanked him very much on the phone. Sidu Feng hung up the phone and felt his head hurt again. "Are you okay?" Xiao Mo asked with concern. Sidu Yan shook his head. "It's okay, maybe I drank too much yesterday." Xiao Mo was lying in Sidu Yan's arms and asked casually, "Brother Yan, didn't you say yesterday that your friend was in a bad mood, so you went out to cheer him up? Why did you drink so much wine?" Sidu Yan smiled and said, "Brothers share blessings and hardships. If he wants to drink, I have to accompany him, right?" Xiao Mo took advantage of the situation and asked, "Ah, then why is your friend named Mo in a bad mood?" Sidu Yan thought of what Mo Feng said to him, and kept mumbling a lot while drinking. According to the recent situation, he was originally the only son in the family, but then a younger brother appeared and might compete with him for the family property. Xiao Mo covered her mouth in surprise and asked again, "It's so miserable. Could it be that you met a liar?" Sidu Yan looked at her dotingly and said with a smile, "You are really simple. The identity of the Mo family must have been checked before a son can recognize his ancestor and return to the clan. It will not be revealed." "Oh, I don't know." Xiao Mo puffed up her cheeks, pretending to be innocent, and nodded along with his words. Sidu Yan kept talking as soon as he opened his mouth, and seemed to feel relieved in front of Xiao Mo. "Well, and now his brother is still." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 793. Chapter 793. She went to the hospital. What's wrong with that brother? The younger brother's fiancée is pregnant, and the elders of the Mo family really want a child. The old lady is already liked by her. If she gives birth to a child, her status will increase. Sidu Yan was so happy that he told Xiao Mo everything. Xiao Mo followed his words and asked questions, and got a lot of information from it. Xiao Mo seemed particularly concerned about the matter of fiancée Qiao Ling being pregnant. I remember you told me not long ago that your friend's wife was pregnant and she died in a few days. There were also rumors that it was the new brother who killed her. Why are you now saying that the brother had a child with his fiancée? Could it be? Did you misunderstand? Of course not. Mo Feng lives in the Mo family. How can he not know whether a person is pregnant? This is what everyone in the Mo family knows, is to go back. If it wasn't true, he would have told it a long time ago, and Mo Feng wouldn't have to be so decadent and drown his sorrows in drinking. Xiao Mo heard a lot of news from Sidu Yan. Sidu Yan seemed to have finally discovered the problem and turned to ask her, why are you suddenly interested in the Mo family's affairs? Xiao Mo shook his head quickly. I'm not interested in the Mo family's affairs, I just want to know more about Brother Yan. The further Xiao Mo spoke, the redder his face became. Sidu Yan found that his little girlfriend seemed to be shy and blushed easily. This innocent look really made people fall in love with her, and she wanted to rub her into her arms and pamper her hard. But considering her health, Sidu Yan still had the sense to let her have a good rest. Sidu Yan went out again because of his brother Mo Feng's matter. After confirming that Sidu Yan had left, Xiaomo re-disinfected the small, whitened wound under her arm and put an OK bandage on it. But during the whole process, she just frowned and didn't feel much pain. The painful years have passed, this little injury is nothing, Xiao Mo whispered to himself. She started to do the chores at home for the day, and suddenly went to the vase to arrange flowers. It looked good at first, but after a while I felt more and more irritable. Seeing those beautiful flowers, she twisted her hands together, broke off the branches, took the petals into her hands and crushed them. Finally, she opened her mouth and said something silently, but her expression was very stern. I won't make it easy for you. Yeah, only one. After a long time, Xiaomo personally picked up the broken petals thrown on the ground, picking them up little by little with her hands. Then he returned to the room and put on makeup to cover his eyes. Xiaomo's makeup skills are good and she looks completely different from before. After everything was sorted out, Xiaomo called Sidu Yan. She asked cautiously during the call, Brother Yan, I want to go out and buy something today, is that okay? Sidu Yan is happy, there is nothing wrong with it. So Sidu Yan immediately agreed and told her that there was a card somewhere in the room, the password is 61. Xiao Mo found the bank card politely and thanked Sidu Yan with a strong tone of admiration. Xiao Mo changed into a white t-shirt and jeans, and put on a black hat before going out. After Xiao Mo went out, she turned around in a circle with nothing to do. Following the Beidou map, she got in and out of the car several times, and finally walked into a hospital. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 794. Chapter 794 Physical Examination. Ye Wei and the twins started shopping in a leisurely way again. Today they also went to the hospital for a physical checkup. The twins said, I understand. It's strange that they didn't mention it directly, even though it was something they could talk about. Perhaps this is also thanks to Enruan, whose miscarriage preceded her, which resulted in the current tacit understanding of the Mo family. But this is very beneficial to Ye Yi. She started going out again now because she was working hard to carry out the strategic plan she had discussed with Yezikin. Of course, Ye Wei doesn't go out every day. As a pregnant woman, it is not in line with her style to go out every day. She can only find an excuse to go out for a physical examination, and by the way, the wind will blow into the ears of the conspirators behind her. It's not a fan, it means the wind blows in your ears. But many things cannot be accomplished overnight, just like Ye Wei went out today and gained nothing. She spread the news about her pregnancy to deceive others, but she was not sure whether the conspirator would show up or take action. The twins watched over Ye Yi, as if this could completely guarantee her safety. Amoru, second sister-in-law, let's not wander around today. You need more rest. Ye Wei, I'm just feeling a little unwell, it's nothing. Amoru Oxu, second sister-in-law, just listen to your sister. We are all doing this for your own good. The twins sang in harmony, and Ye Wei could only nod in compromise. At any rate, her purpose of going out today has been achieved. If the person behind her had been observing her, he would know about her. Sure enough, after Ye Wei got into the car with the twins, a woman came out of an inconspicuous corner. She pressed the hat on her head to cover her face. Ye Wei originally wanted to go back and report today's progress to her beloved little brother, but as soon as she entered the door of Mo's house, she was stopped by Sidu Xiao. Sidu Xiao has never been here since he felt embarrassed that day. Today he suddenly appeared and was sitting in the lobby of the Mo family. The twins were very happy to see Sidu Xiao. Sister Xiao Xiao, why are you here? What, can't I come? Of course not. If Sister Xiao Xiao is willing to come and play with us, it would be a dream. After all, they grew up together. The tone of conversation between the twins and Sidu Xiao was different from Ye Wei. Sidu Xiao said, didn't I hear that Jiao Jiao was pregnant? I rushed here to congratulate her. The twins looked at each other at the same time, their eyes facing each other, and they were speechless for a moment. They didn't expect that Sidu Xiao would expose the things that everyone in the family was holding back so easily. But it doesn't seem to matter. After all, Sidu Xiao was kind enough to congratulate him. The twins, who have no scheming intentions, are deceived by the hypocritical appearance. But Sidu Xiao's target was not the twins, so he quickly sent the twins away and walked to Ye Wei. Sidu Xiao held up a small square starry sky bag with both hands. The outer packaging was very beautiful, but he didn't know what was inside. Ye Wei lowered his eyes and did not move directly. Seeing that the twins standing next to him also looked expectant, Sidu Xiao was not afraid of hiding things and directly asked Ye Wei to unpack the things. This is all my intention as a member of the Sidu family. I believe Jiao you will love it. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 795. Chapter 795. She is my brother's mistress. To be honest, I really can't calm down when facing my love rival. But Ye Wei would not growl at a love rival who wants to conquer her boyfriend. Especially if her love rival smiles so brightly and gives her a gift to express his kindness, she must also establish a good image in front of everyone. Thank you Xiao Xiao. Ye Wei really wanted to open the gift box in front of Sidu Xiao. The twins raised their heads at the same time, testing the edge of peeking. However, Ye only opened the box a little, and when she saw the contents inside, she closed the box tightly. Thank you Xiao Xiao. She thanked Sidu Xiao again and quickly returned to the room citing her health as an excuse. After entering the bedroom, she threw the gift box directly into the trash can without even looking at it. The things inside there. It makes me feel sick just thinking about it. I don't know why there are women like that. Is what they can't get the most what they want? He actually engraved Yezikin's name on a small wooden sign and gave it to her. Now I really miss the days when she and Yezikin were alone together. She doesn't want to be crowded at all. If Yezikin's illness hadn't been cured, she wouldn't have stayed at Mo's house early in the morning. Downstairs, Sidu Xiao was chatting with the twins. On the pretext of visiting the Mo family, they waited until they got along and went home. Sidu Xiao's feelings towards Yezikin were not that of true love, but he felt that only by conquering this man could he show his charm. But Yezikin was different from those she had met before. Sidu Xiao couldn't conquer it because Yezikin didn't give her a chance at all. Sidu Xiao, who was rejected again, felt very humiliated and lost his temper after leaving the Mo family. She didn't want to go back to Sidu's house right now, so she simply went to her brother's private villa. Sidu Xiao and Sidu Yan have always had a good relationship. Going to his private villa not only once or twice is like going back to your own nest. Only this time was different, because Sidu Xiao bumped into Xiao Mo, who was arranging flowers in the villa. At first glance, Sidu Xiao thought she was a newcomer because of her plainly dressed appearance. "Hey, when did my brother find such a young and tender person to work as a servant in the house? He is really lucky." Sidu Xiao actually didn't mean what she said sarcastically, because when she was in a bad mood, she would speak in a tone that deserved a beating. But Xiaomo didn't know. Xiaomo almost inserted the wrong flower when she heard Sidu Xiao's voice. She turned her head and saw Sidu Xiao's appearance, and based on what she just said, she was sure that this was Sidu Yan's biological sister. Since this is the case, she cannot be offended. Xiaomo quickly put down the things in her hands, walked up to Sidu Xiao and smiled kindly. "You are brother Yan's sister Sidu Xiao, right? You are even prettier than in the photo." All women like to hear compliments, so Sidu Xiao focused on the second half of the sentence first. Smiled, and then grasped the doubts in front of him. "What did you call my brother? Brother Yan? You just want to be affectionate." At this time, Sidu Xiao walked around Xiao Mo twice, looking at her with no meaningful expression. "Let me guess who you are to my brother." "I am brother Yan's." "Ah, I know, it's my mistress." Before the word girlfriend came out of her mouth, Sidu Xiao interrupted her. Xiao Mo's face instantly turned ugly. Sidu Yan also happened to come back at this time. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 796. Chapter 796. Xiaomo has no amnesia. When she saw Sidu Yan appear, Xiaomo looked away, bit her lip and said nothing, looking like she had been greatly wronged. Sidu Yan rushed over to protect her and asked Sidu Xiao, "Is this why you came to my villa to say this?" "Brother, you protect me very closely. It seems that this mistress is different from the previous ones." Sidu Xiao was talking to Sidu Yan, but his eyes were fixed on Xiaomo. Seeing Xiaomo's hurt expression, Sidu Yan felt protective in his heart and scolded Sidu Xiao, "If you came to my villa to cause trouble, go back to Sidu's house by yourself." When Sidu Xiao heard that her brother was going to drive her away because of an inconspicuous woman, she immediately felt unhappy. "Brother, I am your biological sister, but you have to protect an outsider here. Do you know that when I went to Mo's house just now, I got angry when I saw Xiao Ling's arrogant look. It would be best for her child to be aborted like an Ruan." Sidu Xiao was blinded by jealousy and blurted out vicious words. "I can't hold it back even if I want to." Sidu Yan immediately scolded her. "Sidu Xiao, how could you have such evil thoughts? I always thought that my sister just had a bit of an arrogant temper, but I never thought that she could say such vicious words." Sidu Xiao also realized that she had made a mistake. She did not continue to curse, but she felt disgusted when she saw Xiao Mo clinging to her brother's arms. Sidu Xiao is unhappy, so he has to find someone to vent to, right? Isn't Xiaomo the best venting bucket? "Brother, you really like Xiao Li, right? I just joked about her, and you are so anxious." "Oh, that's right. After all, she has a face that will make a country beautiful. If you look away from my prejudice against her, I might also be fascinated by that face." Sidu Xiao deliberately flattered Gao Yue and hit Xiaomo the face. Seeing the changes in Xiaomo's expression, Sidu Xiao felt happy in his heart. "Xiao Xiao, Shut up and stop talking nonsense. What are you talking nonsense about me? Do you dare to swear to God that you have not had any thoughts about Jiao? You just don't dare to show it. Sidu Xiao will stop when he sees good things, and run away if he causes trouble. I won't stay here to hinder your eyes, brother. I'm going home. As for you. Sidu Xiao looked at Xiao Mo and laughed twice. I wish you happiness. This last sentence is so ironic and ironic. But Sidu Yan didn't dare to do anything to his biological sister. At the moment I can only coax people. But Xiang Xiaomo pushed him away, ran back to the room and locked the door. Sidu Yan apologized outside the door, but Xiao Mo refused to open the door. The knocking on the door continued for a while, then Xiao Mo slowly opened the door a crack and said to him, Brother Yan, please stop knocking. I want to calm down. I'm sorry. Xiaomo, don't listen to Xiaoxio's nonsense. Xiao Mo, let's ask Brother Yan, are your feelings for that Jiaolian just Xiaoxio's nonsense? Sidu Yan's hands froze in mid-air and he really didn't continue. Xiao Mo locked the door behind her, and her sad expression immediately turned into anger and jealousy. She frantically threw the pillows on the bed on the floor. If she hadn't been afraid of making a fuss, she would have wanted to destroy everything in the room to vent her anger. Why? Just because of that face, everyone likes you. How come you have had such good luck since you were a child? Yeah, why way? I will never let you have an easy time. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 797. Chapter 797 Xiao Mo sneaks into the Mahist family. The sound of shower came from the bathroom, and Xiao Mo was lying on the bed wrapped in quilt. Beep, 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 Sidu Yan's cell phone vibrated. Xiao Mo took it over and took a look, and saw the words business trip on the 7th. The 7th is tomorrow. Xiao Mo put the phone back, remembering that a few hours ago she was still angry with Sidu Yan, but now she was being gentle. At that time, she just couldn't suppress her anger towards Yaowei's jealousy, so she hid in the room and lost her temper. After waiting for a while, she told Sidu Yan softly about her jealousy. She said something like, I'm jealous that you have someone else in your heart. She once told Sidu Yan, I do this because I like you so much and care about you so much I'll be angry with you. This kind of little quarrel between lovers is the spice of emotion, and Xiao Mo controls it very well. So she played around with Sidu Yan. When Sidu Yan came out of the bathroom, Xiao Mo lay in his arms and talked about tomorrow's events. Xiao Mo recently learned a new dish and will cook it for Brother Yan tomorrow. Sidu Yan hesitated when he heard that tomorrow would happen. He picked up his phone and looked at it a few times. He told Xiao Mo apologetically, I'm sorry, I have to go on a business trip tomorrow. Xiao Mo was stunned for a few seconds when he heard the news, and asked casually, how many days will Brother Yan be away? It's a training, I'm going there for a week. Sidu Yan stared at Xiao Mo closely as he spoke, and as expected, he saw a slightly disappointed look on her face. But there is no other way, men must put the overall situation first. Xiao Mo didn't pester him, but cheered him up, Brother Yan's work is very hard, you should also pay attention to your health when traveling on business. Xiao Mo's thoughtfulness made Sidu Yan very happy. It is said that heroes have a hard time being a beauty, but those who are not heroes, are even more sad. After Sidu Yan left, Xiao Mo looked at the empty villa and laughed heartily, letting out all the anger he had been holding in his heart for the past few days. The only time during this period of the night was in Ruan's treatment during pregnancy, such as food. Each of her meals is delivered on time, and the chef will specifically ask her about her favorite flavors and always prepare her favorite pastries. At this moment, a new handyman came to the Mo family's kitchen. He was small and looked like he was underage. She is not as diligent as the handyman. When calling the cook, she always says master, and the cook is also satisfied with her. There are many mahists, sometimes they are required to eat at the same table, but most of them are separated, so you have to remember everyone's taste. The chef told her many precautions, and she wrote them down one by one. Only when talking about Jiao Li, she seemed to mention it casually. This Miss Jiao eats very healthy food. Hush, Miss Jiao is pregnant, but it's a tacit thing in the Mo family, you just need to know. The handyman nodded and didn't ask any more questions. The chef is definitely a little more satisfied. The delivery of food is also arranged in shifts, and the handyman is assigned to deliver meals to the twins. The twins were playing chess and were confused at the end of the game. The handyman just went to deliver food, but the twins stopped him. Hey, stop. The handyman suddenly stooped a little, turned around and lowered his head and asked, Miss, do you have any other instructions? The twins asked her strangely, look at this chess game, how can you break it? The handyman shook his head, and the twins sighed and let her go. The handyman breathed a sigh of relief. Just as he was about to go out, he saw the twins waving towards the door. Second sister-in-law, come in quickly. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Ixie. Chapter 798. Chapter 798, Xiaomo's true identity. Yayoi heard the twins call and walked in. When she passed by the handyman, she suddenly stopped. Wait, are you new here? When the handyman heard Yayui's question, he lowered his voice and replied, Yes, I am the new helper in the kitchen. May I have your name? My name is Xiao Yan. If this woman who calls herself Xiao Yan is seen by Sidu Yan, she will definitely exclaim, Xiaomo. Yes, this new handyman named Xiao Yan is Xiaomo who came out of Sidu Yan's villa. She knew that her name was sensitive, so she chose the homonym of Sidu Yan's name, Xiao Yan. Xiao Mo felt very nervous when facing Yewei. She kept her head down, not daring to face it. Yewei was taller than her, because Xiaomo's lowered head hid part of her appearance. Yewei could only see her holding a tray in her hand, her shoulders shaking slightly. Yewei stared at her for a while and smiled, Are you nervous? I just saw that you are kind-hearted, so I asked out of curiosity. Me, I just came to work for a wealthy family, so I'm a little nervous. Don't be nervous, you can go down first. Yewei's attitude was gentle, just like the gentle spring breeze blowing through the peaceful mind. Everything was beautiful. Xiaomo nodded and continued walking out. Yewei made a voice again, That's right. Xiaomo's whole body froze. Then I heard the clear and melodious voice that belonged to Yewei again, There's no need to be so groveling. You are getting paid based on your ability, so just keep your head upright. Xiaomo paused and stepped out of the room. Xiaomo stood outside the door and heard the twins exclaiming exaggeratedly, Second sister-in-law, you are too gentle. She is simply an angel, so gentle and intoxicating. The twins always agreed with each other when talking, and they even forgot that they wanted to make Ye look at the chessboard. Xiaomo returned to the kitchen and breathed a sigh of relief, but her expression was not very good. The chef came in and saw Xiaomo's forehead was sweating, Are you very hot? Xiaomo put her hand to her forehead, I feel a little uncomfortable. The chef was very considerate and said, If you feel uncomfortable, go and take a rest. Thank you, master. Xiaomo left early for an uncomfortable reason. The next morning, she came to work on time again. Xiaomo stayed in the kitchen the whole time and didn't meet anyone else. She found that the chef was responsible for his own part when cooking and would hardly leave from beginning to end, leaving her with no chance to start. As a handyman, Xiaomo can only help with washing vegetables and the like. Until now, the chef who was responsible for cooking for Yewei wanted to make egg drop soup for her. Xiaomo volunteered to beat the eggs, and when the chef wasn't paying attention, she put something in and stirred it with the eggs. The eggs were put into the pot and the finished product was sent to Ye Weiwei's room. Xiaomo was getting more and more excited. It's a pity that she couldn't just walk in and watch Ye Wei dine, otherwise, she felt that her blood would boil with excitement when she saw the scene of Ye Wei losing her child because of eating eggs. But after a while, Xiao Mo didn't hear any shocking news from the Mo family. Xiao Mo felt very strange. She was sure that she put the medicine in with her own hands, and she saw the bowl of egg drop soup being put in with her own eyes. Why hasn't it worked yet? Is it because of the willingness to stir it in the soup that the medicinal effect is dissolved? Not performing? Xiao Mo was eager for success, so she made a bowl of food and sent it to Ye Weiwei. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 799. Chapter 799, Soup with Abortion Pills Added. Xiao Mo would be nervous when seeing Ye Wei at first, but now she is extra calm and excited when she is holding a bowl of food with added ingredients. She doesn't want to commit murder, and she doesn't want Ye Wei to have a good life. Ye Weiwei likes Yezikan so much, so he must also like the child in his belly. If that child is gone, Ye Wei will definitely be miserable. At that time, she can feel at ease. Xiao Mo squatted on the bowl of soup and walked down the corridor step by step. Her steps were steady and heavy. Just when she was about to knock on the door, the phone in her pocket suddenly vibrated. Xiao Mo took a step back with the bowl in one hand, took out her phone and saw that it was Sidu Yan. She hesitated for a moment and hung up the phone on Sidu Yan. But after a while, Sidu Yan called again. Thinking of Sidu Yan's care for her in the past few days, Xiao Mo endured it and retreated to the corner to answer the phone. Xiao Mo, where are you? Unexpectedly, Sidu Yan's first sentence was this question, and he sounded a little worried. Xiao Mo made up an excuse, saying that he was shopping outside. Sidu Yan had no doubt about her words, and just warned, I was a little worried when I didn't see you when I got home just now. Then buy some things and go home early. I'll go to Mo's house first. Are you going to Mo's house? Xiao Mo frowned immediately. Because of the phone, Sidu Yan didn't notice Xiao Mo's weird tone. He said that he had something serious to discuss with the Mo family, so he was going to the Mo family. The soup Xiao Mo was holding on the phone shook and some spilled on the ground. After hanging up the phone, Xiao Mo became nervous again, carrying the bowl of stuffed food back home. After Xiao Mo left, Ye Weiwei walked out from another corner, looked at the water stains on the ground that had not dried up, and smiled. Brother Yan? Not long after, Sidu Yan appeared at the Mo family, and Ye Weiwei learned from this that Sidu Yan had been on a business trip a few days ago and had just returned today, but he was back 2 days earlier than expected. She calculated the time and found that the day when Xiao Yan came to Mo's house to do odd jobs was the time when Sidu Yan was on a business trip. What a coincidence. I really can't believe it. Ye Weiwei said a few words to the housekeeper next to him. I remember that the family recently hired a very smart girl, and she is now helping in the kitchen. You can hand her over to entertain the guests. To entertain guests is to make tea or something. The housekeeper also remembered that there was only one new person in the Mo family recently, and of course he knew that the only thing Ye said was little words. The housekeeper happily accepted the order, but came back and told Ye Wei, Xiao Yan is sick and has just asked for leave to go home. Ye Weiwei took a deep breath and said, I know, it doesn't matter. As long as she has Sidu Yan as a line, what else does she have to fear? Ye Weiwei immediately sent someone to investigate Sidu Yan's recent affairs, and learned that Sidu Yan had picked up a strange woman and returned home on the night they captured Li Cheng. That woman happens to be called Xiao Mo. At this moment, Ye Wei could basically determine the identity of that person. The Skynet is very sparse and does not miss any details. Those who do wrong things will always be punished. Let's visit Siduyan tomorrow. Chinese Valentine's Day Welfare Group. In order to thank Kaibao for their support and companionship, Kaibao has established an exclusive welfare group. Kaibao is welcome to join the group to grab red envelopes, receive benefits, and play together. There will be welfare red envelopes and irregular activities in the group regularly every month. Kaibao with a fan value of 2000, disciple, or above, first join the book club group 1450160019 and find the manager 3.5 years old, and then invite to the welfare group. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 800. Chapter 800. Lovers finally get married. Xiao Mo woke up from bed and went downstairs to get some water, but saw Ye Wei appearing in the hall and smiling at her. Long time no see, Li Mo'er. Ah! Li Mo'er woke up from her sleep with a cry, her forehead covered with sweat. She randomly pulled out the tissue next to her to wipe her sweat, and realized that she had just had a nightmare. How can that be possible? I must be thinking too much. Li Mo'er kept giving herself psychological comfort and convincing herself not to think wildly. She felt that she must have missed the opportunity to make a move yesterday, which is why she dreamed that Ye Wei appeared at Siduyan's villa and revealed that her identity was not Xiao Mo, who had lost her memory, but Li Mo'er, who had been imprisoned for killing people a few years ago. When she got up now, her mouth felt dry. Li Mo'er wanted to go downstairs to find some water, but she remembered that the scene she said was inexplicably the same as the nightmare she had just had. Li Mo'er retracted her feet, sat on the edge of the bed with her eyes empty for a while, then put on her shoes and went downstairs. Siduyan has just returned from a business trip and should rest at home today to adjust to the jet lag. She went downstairs to look for Siduyan as usual, but she didn't expect to see Ye Wei sitting on the sofa and smiling at her. Li Mo'er's feet met Ye Wei's eyes while her feet were still on the stairwell. At that moment, Li Mo'er wished that she was dreaming now. She had just woken up, without any makeup to hide her appearance, and her complete appearance was exposed to Ye Wei. Unless Ye Zi is blind, he would not be able to recognize her identity. Li Mo'er's mouth was dry, and her hands tightly grasped the railing next to the stairs, rubbing it until her palms turned red. When she was most nervous, she heard Ye Wei ask, "Hey, who is this?" Siduyan also turned around and waved to Xiao Mo, "Xiao Mo, come down quickly." Li Mo'er didn't dare to move. Siduyan shouted twice, remembering Li Mo'er's rejection of Qiao Lian, so Siduyan walked up the stairs in person, took Li Mo'er's hand, and quietly said to Li Mo'er, "She and I really have nothing to do. She is here today. You came to me to discuss cooperation." Yes, Ye Wei arranged it today in the name of the Ye group wanting to discuss cooperation with Siduyan. Ye Wei was slightly surprised when he saw Li Mo'er as he wished, but also felt a sense of understanding. I had guessed it was Li Mo'er before, but this person erased his identity information and changed his identity. Siduyan introduced his identity to Ye Wei, "This is my girlfriend, her name is Xiao Mo." Ye Wei greeted her calmly and had a good attitude. Xiao Mo was simply perfunctory, but still not as calm as Ye Wei. Without saying a few words, he used drinking water as an excuse to escape. Ye Wei only mentioned Xiao Mo intentionally or unintentionally, and it took a long time to extract the key words from Siduyan's mouth. There is such an interesting story between Mr. Yan and his girlfriend. It is indeed fate, but it is very worrying for people who have lost their memory and cannot find their family members. I'm also trying to help her find it, but there are really no clues. Ye Wei nodded, thinking, in order to harm her, Li Mo'er would rather go through hardships and hide his identity. How could you let you find out so easily? But looking at Siduyan's expression now, it seems that he values Li Mo'er a little. I most want to see lovers get married eventually. Mr. Yan feels so sorry for having a girlfriend. Why don't I help you too and try to find her for you? That's really a thank you. You're welcome. Yes, only Smile hides all her calculations. No thanks, she will be able to send Lee Moer's information to Sidhu Yan soon. End of this chapter.